Or is it afternoon already? Okay.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. All right, just coming out here wrapping up a large segment of scrimmage work today with our players and alumni weekend as well. So good to see a lot of familiar faces out there, guys that had a chance to play with or play for, a lot of former coaches. So a lot of energy, and good for our guys to see that. You know, the alumni have always been a huge part of why guys come to the University of Miami, and they showed up strong, and certainly looking forward to seeing them on Friday at the spring game as well. So, but a physical day. Hats off to the defense. They won. They came out strong, as opposed to last Saturday where the offense came out strong. And the offense did respond, but then the defense found a way to come up with the ball at the end during 2 minutes. Some big plays, explosive plays on both sides of the ball. Cam Kitchens continues to excel. He's not satisfied at all. The banner got hung up 2 days ago, and it's like he's performing like it was never there, and that's awesome to see. And we're seeing that from a lot of veteran guys as well. But overall, very solid progress from our entire football team, and we still have 3 days of practice that we can take advantage of, and we plan on doing that to the fullest. So,
Coach, with just 2 spring practices left, what have you been most impressed with the team?
Well, we're getting a little bit more consistent, but not consistent enough. I think I would say, is the way that they're approaching their dailies. You know, being early to the building, understanding that finishing a play and finishing on collectively on a play is just as important as the technique that goes with it to starting the play. You know, I think that's important. I think the fact that we have thrown a lot at them schematically, and they've taken and done a good job, that's been really good. Some of the older players have really stepped up, and they've done a good job leading, and then the younger players haven't flinched. We're throwing a lot of young guys out there with the first and second team, and they're getting reps, and you know what? If they continue down that path, all those guys, old and young, they'll be on the field come the fall. So just all in all, a very organization-wise, competitive-wise, and then just pushing through some very challenging practices because we make them challenging. Very positive progress, you know, and we want to keep it along the lines of we're progressing with still a ways to go.
Coach, you just mentioned the defense doing well today, and you mentioned Kitchens, so particularly with the defense, what did they do that was impressive in addition to that?
Sure, they stopped the run. You know, that was the first thing. We all know we've had some guys banged up front on the defensive line for spring ball, but today they showed up big. You know, a guy like Chance Williams showed up big. Nigel Leak, Ruben Bain showed up big. Jake Lichtenstein, Thomas Gore showed up. Ahmad Moten had some really good moments. Our linebackers played at a high level. They all did today. And then in the secondary on the back end, they did a great job being aggressive, getting hands on receivers, and they made it difficult for the offense to get the ball out, and they put them in difficult down and distance situations. So, and then the Jakari found a way to make a big play. Isaiah Horton continues to get better. It was good to see him do what he's been doing. Xavier Restrepo continues to be probably the most consistent performer on the offensive side as a wide receiver group. The wide receivers were inconsistent today outside. We had some opportunities and we did not come up with them. Later in the scrimmage we did, but early on we could get the thing going and we didn't. So that being said, Don Chaney continues to improve. He's starting to look more and more like he's getting and working his way back to form. Still has to cut some weight, but improving. And then the tight end position, we're throwing those young guys in there at a mile a minute because the older guys are still a little bit banged up.
You mentioned Jakari. How has he kind of grown from this point on the last year?
Well, this suits his style a little bit more, you know, because it's just from a progression standpoint, from a learning standpoint, and then having a quarterback coach in the room, it all makes sense, you know. And so he has progressed. The guy's won a lot of ball games. You know, he's played a lot of big games, and he knows how to play football. And all we got to do is make sure that him and all the quarterbacks are systematic. You know, that they're playing within the system, but without being a robot. And I think that's what the system does best. And our players have enjoyed it because of that. There's discipline, but there's also some wiggle room to be able to go and make plays. And he certainly has done a really good job with that.
How much do you think those 3 games, the couple games he got into the end of last year, maybe helped?
Yeah, it's really valuable. He got to start one and played completely. And it was a game that he did really well in, you know, with a package that, you know, that's what he could handle last year. He can certainly handle a lot more now, he's shown.
What are you looking for in the spring game? I know there are fans players that are probably not going to show much.
Sure.
What's your thoughts on that? Your
Yeah, when you have new coordinators, you want to play football, and you want to make sure your technique, your fundamentals, the way you operate, your processes are really moving. And yeah, there'll be some base stuff. There's nothing out there that you wouldn't be able to catch on film if you watch our coordinators at their former stops. And are we going to go ultra exotic? We'll have some fun, but we will play football, and we will play live football. And we need to practice. I wish we had another couple weeks of practice because we need it. We do. This team has a lot of young guys in a lot of critical spots, and they're getting better. And it's like, man, one more week, you wish you had more. You really do. So it's on us to teach them how to run their own practices so that their player-led practices are really, I would say, are very effective and productive come the summertime.
A few more questions for Coach. Before spring ball concludes.
One more time.
Before spring ball concludes, what are some of the things we're going to emphasize in these practices this last week?
Well, the same things we always try to emphasize. Number one is making sure that we are playing with discipline, right? Knowing that we're playing with toughness, which comes with physicality, that we're finishing plays, that we systematically know what we're doing, and all those things tie into culture, So the more you emphasize culture, that umbrella covers a lot. Some of these things I just mentioned fall underneath that, but the nuts and bolts of playing really good football and becoming a good football program, which we need, again, tons of work at. Player development-wise, a lot of guys are developing, both old and young. Obviously, we still need to add more guys and more pieces to our roster, and as well as, we've got some guys that have missed a lot of time that won't be back for another couple weeks. Those guys really need to be in tune to what we're doing, and it's on us to keep them engaged. So the work never stops, a lot of work to be done, and you see, today we got a ton of recruits out there, so got to go right back to work.
Coach, what last question group do you think?
One more time.
What position group do you think has impressed you the most so far this spring? And you mentioned adding some pieces later. So what position group do you want to add?
Well, I like that piece everywhere, quite frankly. It's what we have to do, that's what it requires. That's always been the blueprint to success at the stops that we have had. You've got to build and develop to a point where you have legitimate winning and championship depth at every position. And we have certainly gained a lot of ground towards that. We still have to gain more. So at every position, we are looking for players. Group that's impressed the most, we'll see after Saturday. We still have 3 more practices. You don't want to give some a little bit too much sugar today, and then we have a practice on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So, but we're getting better. Obviously, we've certainly poured a lot into the offensive line body types and mentality, which was a monstrously glaring issue upon arrival and through the season. And it's something that we feel that we're gaining a lot of ground towards getting better at. So with so many defensive linemen, out for spring ball, you wish you would have seen those battles, because that would have been a part of our football team, that if that takes the kind of step that we needed to take, that we wanted to take, it significantly improves our program and our track for where we want to go. Does that make sense?
Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay, guys. Appreciate you guys. Okay.